This is the Work Smart Hypnosis Podcast, session number 199, Work Smart Business, Design Systems.
Welcome to the Work Smart Hypnosis Podcast with Jason Linett, your professional resource for hypnosis training and outstanding business success. Here's your host, Jason Linett.
Welcome back to the program. It's Jason Linett here with a lot of content here to share with you this week. Specifically, we are just days away from the launching of my book, Work Smart Business. And this week's session is actually going to be sharing one of the complete chapters of the book, perhaps the most important thing that I've ever done in terms of my business, the mindset that of designing systems. Part of the intention of how my business training is called Hypnotic Business Systems. It all comes down to systems, the idea of how do you duplicate yourself, how do you replicate your best success, that way when you want to scale up parts of your business or perhaps start up other parts of your business, you know exactly what to do to work with purpose, to work with focus, and to work with intention. So this chapter is again called Design Systems, and the irony of it is that I'm recording this for my podcast, and a big feature of the Design Systems chapter is talking about how this podcast is being produced. How's that for a loop inside of another loop inside of another one? Now, to get full access to the book, here are your instructions that if you're listening to this before January 27th, head over right away to WorkSmartBusiness.com. On that page, you're going to get advanced access to a couple of the chapters of the book. In addition to that, the book is going out for free as a special promo the first 3 days. So make sure you've gone to WorkSmartBusiness.com before January 27th. Now, if you go to it after the 27th, it's all still good. You're still going to get those free chapters, but at that point, the book is going to be for sale on Amazon. However, it's a book. It's going to be affordable, and simply making use of one of the techniques for your business is going to pay back the investment and so much more. And with that, once again, that website is WorkSmartBusiness.com. With that, let's jump directly into this week's session, a reading of this chapter of the book. This is session number 199, Work Smart Business, Design Systems. You can't do it all yourself. So here's a method to do it all yourself. I'm about to reveal one of my biggest productivity secrets to you, an easy-to-master method which saved my time, enhanced my marriage, and tripled my income along my journey. I'm going to detail the methods to turn your business efforts into machines that will run and systems that will operate with ease. If you ever want to increase your business, it can become as easy as pressing a button, and the operation will automatically run as predicted. Random fun fact, I quit biting my nails thanks to hypnosis almost 15 years ago. I share this even though it has no correlation to the story. I'll tell you about how a nail salon planted the seeds for my financial freedom. As you move through the chapter, have this question in mind. What repetitive tasks am I ready to eliminate from my life? Ask yourself, what methods have worked the best to grow my business? We're going to transform these things into systems. Can the inspirational words from a television infomercial create massive waves in your life, even if you don't buy the product they're pitching? Find out more right after this commercial break. I do a lot. I previously described my business life as a 3-ring circus. I see private clients in my hypnosis office most weeks of the year. I publish an industry-specific micro-niche podcast that broadcasts ritualistically every Thursday morning. I'm invited to travel and speak around the world. I maintain massive educational communities online. When I'm recognized at a conference, nearly every time, their dialogue includes the exclamation, "Wow, you're doing a lot these days." My response is always the same. I smile and simply respond, "It sure looks that way, doesn't it?" The principle to design systems changed my life. I modeled the most successful people that I met in business. I studied what was working for them. I read the books from productivity experts like David Allen and Timothy Ferriss to maximize my time, minimize my efforts, and produce the highest quality experience for my customers. Now, with every task I approach, I'll ask myself, how can I do this once? Or how can I streamline this to make it easier? Technologies change from year to year. So I'll refrain from turning this chapter into a laundry list of website recommendations for services that might disappear by the time you read this book. Let's focus instead on the principles for design systems, as they will apply universally, even as the technology world evolves. Imagine turning on your television early in the morning. A man wearing an apron appears on the screen. He loads a raw, whole chicken onto a metal stick, which is exactly the image you wanted to see to start your day. This friendly man with a sincere smile, conveying his excitement is absolutely genuine, loads the meat into a toaster oven-shaped box. As he and the audience, as if they've been rehearsing it for hours, he asks the live audience, "What's the next step?" In perfect unison, the entire space roars with an enthusiastic, "Set it and forget it." Ron Popeil closed the door on his Showtime rotisserie grill, turned the dial, and walked away. Within a few hours, the door would open to what promised to be the most perfectly cooked chicken you could ever make in your own home. The infomercial sold over 8 million units and generated more than $1 billion. The catchphrase of the product changed the direction of my life. How can I apply the physical and mental ease of set it and forget it to both my business and personal life? When I launched my local hypnosis business, I was inspired by a conversation with a local business coach. A point of frustration, she expressed, became an away from motivation system for me, driving me to realize, again, like a television infomercial, there's got to be a better way. She expressed that she loved meeting with new clients. A new client would mean she could directly help transform the shape of their business and their life. A new client meant money in the bank as she'd get paid for her services. Her only complaint was that it took so long to send a new client their first session homework, plus driving directions to her office. This conflict opened my eyes to a flaw in her business systems. She explained that her welcome email to a new client had to include specific driving directions, as her office was through a private entrance on the side of her home. They had to know exactly where to park. There were instructions about an email attachment they needed to print and complete by hand. I was inspired to overhaul my office strategies. I crafted new welcome emails and office forms for my clients that evening. Other than a change of address when I moved my office and several rate increases over the years, the welcome email and office forms are nearly the same, nearly 10 years later. The coach was spending 45 minutes completing this office administrative task. In my world, an automation sequence from a drop-down menu took care of it. I shared what I had done with the coach, and she's now using the same principle in her life. To design systems doesn't always have to be a technical adventure with online automation. When I do a keynote presentation for a business or professional organization, the program is templated and modular, so I can put the pieces together that address the goals of their team. I teach a number of strategies to internalize goals, one of which is self-hypnosis, which I demonstrate with volunteers from their audience. Depending on the event, I can piece together the best strategies to teach that align with their business environment. Another system is in place at the time of the booking of the speech, as a brief needs analysis system is employed conversationally with the executive team to identify their goals and set the objectives for their presentation. The program is easily custom designed to match the needs of the client. Just like the story of the welcome email and office forms for a private client, the contracts and travel arrangements follow a similar systematic journey. Ron Popeil was right. Set it and forget it. Systems allow you to model yourself. The majority of my business now comes from fully automated online activity. I frequently share seminars through online learning events. That's a much better title than the tech jargon of calling it a webinar. While you read the method of this presentation, realize the principles can be applied to any aspect of your business that needs systemization. The strength of a webinar is that it's a timely online event. People sign up online to receive a series of messages counting down to the date. They receive the attendance access link and then a follow-up series sharing the replays and resources. From one email sign-up to be a part of the event, you have permission to send a number of checkpoints in communication. Lead with value. My goal is to help my audience produce a small win through learning something new. This easily transitions into a polite promotion for a product or service that will help the viewer create an even larger win. Here are some examples of this education to conversion. I taught you a self-hypnosis technique to dissolve a craving. Please come to my office to knock out the entire smoking habit. You learned how to take your personal service and expand it to groups. Please purchase my complete business training. I taught you a mental trigger to provoke your own organic state of confidence. Please have me come share it with your staff. Abolish the mindset of the conversation being an upsell. Think of it as an upgrade to naturally pivot from education to offer. Here's where the systems come in. Every step of the process is automated. Every email of the sequence is pre-written before the first promotional email invite is broadcast. The countdown emails and subsequent replay sequence were programmed on schedule in advance. The benefit here is that your messages will all now carry a congruent tone of voice through the sequence. Plus, you won't forget to do it later. I had a programmer build this automation sequence for me years ago. Every new event is a model of a previous one. My task is to produce the new video program and present it. My team's task is to create new graphics and change the name of the event and dates in the email sequences. This allows me to put my complete focus towards putting on an outstanding learning event. Set it and forget it. I strive to make the experience provide genuine value for the attendees. I can focus on sharing 100% value in this permission-based platform. To be transparent, my welcome emails state, yes, I will be promoting an upcoming training opportunity. However, I know you'll benefit from the content I'm going to share during the program. It's no surprise that at the end of the presentation, it pivots to offer to get more. I also only allow myself to continue contact with the attendees who haven't yet purchased if I'm continuing to provide value. Here's a download of the presentation, or here's that document that I promised you. Value first, followed by only 4 spots are left. Lead with value. Your buyers will thank you for the experience. I run this webinar machine system several times a year to print money. I hope you've already noticed that these work smart principles can stand on their own, yet they become even more powerful as you combine them with others. Having created this powerful system, my team duplicates an older system, changes the titles, images, and dates, and will run the machine again to another audience with different content for the next event. Team. I've used that word a few times now. Did you catch it? That word is magic. Is your business bursting at the seams? Are you struggling because you're behind schedule, trying to complete too many tasks, and unfortunately, dropping the ball in several parts of your life? It's time now to reveal the number one thing that changed the shape of my life. Let's talk about outsourcing, so you can become the wizard behind the curtain rather than the jack of all trades. Have you found yourself sitting at a computer for hours in a state of frustration because you could not figure out some piece of software? Embrace this frustration as your cue to hire someone else to help you. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. In my previous arts management career, I learned how to operate professional sound design software. I also learned how to rapidly build websites and maintain them. These are essential skills in the businesses I now operate. However, my time is better spent speaking to business groups, developing new programs, working with private clients, and spending time with my family. I design systems in my life to hand off the technical tasks to someone else, so my time may now be focused on the things that will scale up my business. Refuse to be a slave to your business and allow your business to work now for you. Want an added bonus? The expert can handle the software better than you can. My podcast is one of my systems. New content releases every week like clockwork. Sometimes it's a solo session where I teach something. Other times we capture a recorded conversation with someone I feel my audience needs to meet. The initial recording is completed and immediately saved in Dropbox. This folder is already synced with the file sharing service to my audio editors. They have the file within seconds of my hitting save. I produce another recording to capture my opening remarks, an introduction, and a soft promotion for my programs and the closing statements. I click save, and within seconds, it's automatically uploaded to the Dropbox accounts of my editors too. They handle the editing, perform magical things to make recorded voices sound better, and upload it into the production cycle for release. While this system is running, so is another system. A team of writers produce the first draft of the show notes. They save it into our shared Dropbox folder, and I receive an alert when it's ready for my edits. It takes me less than 5 minutes to make a few adjustments, saving the final version in my shared folder. This automatically flies through the digital cloud to my web and graphic designer who prepares images and the website to promote the recording. These are people I've been working with for at least 2 years. This next fact may surprise you. We don't talk to each other. We don't have to. There are occasional hello messages or happy birthday notes, and the rare, my guest phone rang during the interview, can you edit it out? We don't need to directly speak to each other. We don't have to. It's a system that now runs on its own. My responsibility is focused on producing valuable experiences for my audience, applying a few finishing touches, and listening to the program with everyone else when it releases on schedule. The systems go even deeper than that. This program releases on schedule every week. However, this isn't a weekly task. I batch produce these programs. Remember the purple calendar entries? Just once or twice a month, I'll set aside time to record, typically producing programs well over a month in advance of public release. Set it and forget it. Whether it's something you design for yourself or hire an outsourcer to build some automation for you, you empower yourself to work smart. No longer will you need to metaphorically bash your head on a computer desk because of a lack of technical skill. Start with the user experience. Work as if you're not going to touch any computers or software at all. You will be responsible for some effort in communication and content creation, though this creator-only mindset will put your focus where it ought to be. Focus your efforts on the user experience. My most profitable projects began as drawings on blank sheets of paper. A pencil sketch on the back of an envelope generated $40,000 of new business. I've built websites and designed multi-step online educational programs with this method. Even though I've got a reputation of crashing my own websites because I thought I could fix them, I design best in a bare bones environment. A single color pen on a white sheet of paper. I do my best writing in the notepad or text edit applications of a computer. If I'm not allowed to change the fonts or the size of the text, my 100% focus is on crafting the written message. Avoid the distraction of making it pretty. That comes later. I can now pass the work off to someone with the necessary skills to turn the idea into a reality. As outsourcing is sometimes an international dialogue, my preferred method is to show rather than tell. I'll make a video with my smartphone explaining the project or use screen recording software like Camtasia to describe the task. I'll talk through the project and upload the video privately online. Remember these magic words. Make this pretty. You might even begin with a model to emulate. It's important to not rip off someone else's idea, though their ideas may inspire you. My local hypnosis business's website was modeled from the website of a nail salon in California. I'm not in the business of doing manicures or pedicures, not yet at least. However, the layout of a nail salon's site clearly featured their top 3 services. Everything else was in a drop-down menu called Other. Their website inspired a pen and paper sketch, and my design team built something new from the ground up. I'd bet the nail salon wouldn't even recognize any hint of their website that inspired my website. This method of modeling is a model of other models. Disney's The Lion King is a retelling of William Shakespeare's Hamlet. The George Clooney movie, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, is an adaptation of Homer's The Odyssey. A friend of mine once worked writing for afternoon soap operas and children's cartoons. Imagine the massive number of scripts they would have to produce. He shared the story that one time he literally threw a dart at a bookcase full of classical works of literature. He found a theme and a story that seemed interesting and adapted the conflict for the characters in his script. Here are your other magic words. Make me one like this. Keep your focus on the service or product you expertly provide while others expertly handle the technology. Where do you find these people? I recommend using your local network or exploring peer-reviewed outsourcing website communities. At the time of this printing, I found the best service from the website Upwork. Unfortunately, I've met many people who would now turn off at the mention of outsourcing. They cry out, "I've tried that, and that didn't work with me." Remember, it's very rarely the platform, it's almost always the strategy. The mistake I often see people make is they jump into the task too quickly. They metaphorically try to consummate the outsourcing relationship before the first date. Take them out for coffee before getting too intimate. Start with a micro task. Do you need a new website? Start your process earlier in the relationship as you hire someone capable of website design to help you build a logo. Consider this task your first date as you learn about their responsiveness. Now you can decide whether to continue the relationship or not. Expand the job to request a graphic design of a new website. Just the design, not the actual build. Perhaps now expand to having them build out the navigation menu of the homepage, and now the entire site. Remember the Bill Murray movie, What About Bob? Dr. Leo Marvin was right. Baby steps. If the person you've hired becomes unreliable or unable to follow instruction, you have the ability to exit the situation before it became a relationship. Politely exit the contract, pay for the services already rendered, and hire someone new. The benefit of peer-reviewed sites like Upwork is that you can explore a person's reviews and portfolio even before hiring. How do you make payment? I suggest starting with pay-by-assignment tasks. Offer a specific rate for a logo, then a specific rate for the full site. As you're now satisfied with their quality of work, pivot the relationship into a by-the-hour role as needed. Here's a life-changing strategy. Pay them for their time to connect via web conference software like Skype or Zoom to share the screen and teach you how to make small updates to your website. This may be helpful for simple tasks like updating a blog or adding a quick thank you page. Deepen the relationship by pivoting into a monthly contract. Having a relationship with an ongoing outsourcer expedites your process as you further systematize your business. My programmer and I can launch a new membership product online in a single day. I can share a photo with my designer and she nails the podcast design for a Facebook ad for a class on the first draft. I don't have to spend my time looking for new people to help me. My favorite outsourcing story was the time I attempted to update the layout on one of my websites. I was up early one morning and felt inspired. I could probably do the task myself faster than send the design notes. I unfortunately believed. I crashed the entire website. I frantically sent SOS messages to my programmer who fixed the issue in minutes. She also temporarily locked me out of my own website because you keep screwing it up and this is why you pay me. Some people would be offended by this action and end the contract. I gave her a raise. I can't afford to outsource is an objection I often hear. I'll reply, you can't afford not to outsource. I trust you've already realized the value of outsourcing from the stories I've shared with you. In addition to the value, please let it become a balance of priorities. I'm amazed by people who will spend $5,000 on flights, hotels, and convention registration to attend a conference, but will not give someone $40 to make their business card look decent. Pay yourself first to reinvest in your success. The value of including outsourcing in this design systems dialogue is that you don't have to fall into the virus of superhero syndrome. Break past the expectation that you have to do it all yourself. The brick wall of, I don't know how to do that, becomes an incredible doorway to letting someone else make your ideas better. Given the shape of your business, everything I've shared with you, you can now translate to hiring additional staff either part-time or even full-time. Think of your business as a series of systems. That helps you to know where you are at all points of your entrepreneurial journey. Remember the story from the Print Money chapter when my web hosting company was hacked? I ran the system of getting out into my community and networking. Think in terms of systems and you will know how to turn your business on and off. Building systems allows you to duplicate yourself. Empower yourself to exponentially increase your productivity and your income. Work smart by spending time working less. Focus your time on scaling up your business or time with your family. The real question: what's working? What's not working? And what can you hand off to someone else? Work smart action steps. What would it be like to create an employee manual for yourself? Designing systems doesn't have to only be a technical task involving software and a virtual team. Like the story of revisiting networking marketing, when my websites crashed, I knew exactly what to do to turn my business back on. Track the efforts necessary that make it run like each part of your business is running more consistently by working smart. Run the imaginary exercise of dividing your business personality into a few dozen hypothetical parts. Some of these potential parts could include doing your service, producing your product, promoting your work, updating your website, responding to emails, and taking care of your own accounting. These parts of you are your staff. Make a note of which parts absolutely must be done by you. The threat of downsizing or layoffs can be terrifying if you're an employee. However, it's exhilarating as an entrepreneur. Fire yourself from the tasks that don't 100% require you. Start small. Reread the outsourcing system I outlined to start with a micro task and evolve it into a relationship. Your physical or virtual staff may be skilled technicians, but they're not psychics. A principle of hypnotic communication is the meaning of the communication is the response it gets. Recognize that you will have a learning curve to best express what you want a job to be. Take good care of the people you work with. Put the words please and thank you in your instructions as you communicate. Send the occasional bonus for a job well done. They may be your staff, but they're still people. They will help design an incredible lifestyle for you. So be sure they know you appreciate their work. Hey, it's Jason Linett here once again, and as always, thank you so much for interacting with this program. Thank you to everybody for your positive reviews for this program online. And once again, head over right now to worksmartbusiness.com. That's where you can get a few of the chapters of this book in advance. Plus, if you're listening before the 27th, that's where you're going to get all the details to get a free digital copy of the book during the launch period. And again, if you're listening after the 27th, not to worry, still head over to worksmartbusiness.com. You can still get the chapters of the book, and after that, the book will be on sale for Amazon. But again, it's a book, and books are affordable, and simply making use of one of these tactics will help you to grow your business and much more. I'm Jason Linett. Check out the Work Smart Business book. Keep listening, and stick around next week. Session number 200 is coming your way. See you soon.
Thanks for listening to the Work Smart Hypnosis podcast at WorkSmartHypnosis.com.
Hey there, it's Jason, and I want you to be one of the first to find out as we upload amazing new content. So do this right now. Click the subscribe button right here on this video. That's going to link you to our YouTube channel here, and you will be the first to find out as new resources and downloads are made available. Do it now.